right, very good. Now we have to okay. So last week I told you that I had my computer crashed actually and I could not save it. So this week what I did was I went back to that and added some other stuff that I meant to talk about and I forgot last time. So I want to talk about this 1920 TPC pair. And I have this little table here, and it says index, the 19th one happens to be 19,422 and 19,428. As you see, those TPCs they differ by 6. Okay, so if you add 6 to the first one, you get another TPC. And so TPC, or twin prime companion, is the one that if you add 1 to it and you subtract 1, you get 2 prime numbers, a twin prime. Okay? So this is the composite which is sandwiched between a pair of twin primes. Okay? And so these are very rare, and that's why the 19th one is so large. Okay? So basically, in the small one, 1 out of every 1,000 is a twin prime, twin TPC. Okay? So they also have a index in the TPC domain. So the first one is 333, and the second one is 334. So 19,422 index is a TPC number 333, and 19,428 is TPC number 334. First thing that comes up. 19 times 334 is 6346, and that's the number of verses in the Quran, including the unnumbered ones. The non-numbered Bismillah, there are 112 of them. Okay? And so, now, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 is equal to 19. Okay? The digits of those two indices, the indices of TPC, if you add them up, they add up to 19. The digits of the sum of the digits of the twin TPCs, 1 plus 9 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9 plus 4 plus 2 plus 8 is equal to 42. So we have two numbers here. We generated just two numbers, 19 and 42. If you multiply these two numbers, 19 times 42, you're going to get 798. 798 is the frequency of initials Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ain, Sad in chapter 19. Okay? Alright. So, 3334 Gaussian prime is 4931. 333rd additive prime is also 4931. So what happens that 4931 generates again those two indices, 333 and 334. Okay. Now, 333 written in base 19 is equal to 1143 written in base 10. And 1143 is equal to 9 times 127. Okay. Okay. So 1143 is equal to 9 times 127, and chapter 9 has 127 verses. Okay. Furthermore, 4931 Furthermore, 4931 happens to be the 658 prime number, just regular prime, okay? But 798 is the 658 composite, and again 798 is the frequency of initials in chapter 19, okay? So, and then God puts these beacons in there for us, okay? That, look, if you're in doubt, I told you over it is 19, okay? So the very first number that we generated here was 6346. 6 plus 3 is equal to 9, plus 4 is 13, plus 6 is 19. Okay, so that's one. Down here, 658. We also generated 658. 6 plus 5 is 11, plus 8 is 19. And that happens to be the index of 798, which is the total frequency of initials in chapter 19. Okay. So you see how the Quran generates itself? Okay. So again, as I said, we have to be very careful because the Quran that we have today, they didn't have this information that we have today. This information was not available to those groups of people. So it was done again generation after generation, and we inherited that scripture, and today we're enjoying it because we know which one is correct. The verse structure of the Quran is not unique, my friends. But we know which one is correct. We know chapter 9 has 127 verses. God says it over and over and over again in the Quran. We got to make sure that we understand these things. Okay, I just showed you the Quran, the Tashkent Quran, the so-called Usmani Quran. Okay. And you saw that there was none there, but people knew how to do it. Those people knew how to do it. But that Quran is not for us. We have now all this structure today. So those numbers that I have in this translation of the Quran, they were not there before. Nobody counted the number of the number of verses from 111 to 9127. Nobody did that. But we have that now. We have it there and it's right in front of you. You can see it. So there are reasons for these things to be there at certain time. It says, do not rush it. That's what God says. God's command has already been issued, do not rush it. There's a time for everything. This would have been completely irrelevant for those people. They would not have understood it. Okay? It would be completely esoteric to them because the knowledge was not there at that time. The knowledge is available to us today, and that's what we have to follow. It says, once this Quran is recited to you, you shall follow such a Quran. And do not question it. As I said, if you don't have enough information, then we forget. If you don't have a good memory and we forget those verses where God explains it to us, then we're in trouble. Okay? We even forget our own history. We forget in the Quran that when God tells us about it, He says that the shrine or the Kaaba was made by Abraham and Ishmael. That's what God says. They lived 4,500 years ago. That's where Abraham prayed. When God tells Muhammad, then we inspired you to follow the nation of Abraham. Okay? If we forget those verses, then we think that Jerusalem was the first Qibla of the Muslims. That's what we think. Okay? Something which did not exist at that time, at the time of Abraham. Okay? So we have to be very careful with these things. And as I said, partly all of these questions come up because of this mathematics of the Quran, because People will say, well, this didn't have this, didn't have this, didn't have this, and how did you figure this out? Okay. And what my answer is that I don't care about the written stuff. This is coming from the unwritten stuff, but it's telling you, it's coming from mathematics. That's the Umul Kitab, which means this is the mother book. Which then tells you what it's supposed to be actually, what are things supposed to be in the written thing. This is a historic moment, it's an historic moment. And we have to take this to heart. And be grateful to God for giving us this information that we didn't have before. Okay, I'm going to stop here and we'll finish this. Prayers.